Let's learn how to group dates by month in a pivot table. This is a common task that makes analyzing your data much easier. We'll cover two main ways to do this: using the pivot table's built-in grouping feature and using helper columns. 1. Using the pivot table's grouping feature. This is the easiest and fastest method. First, ensure your data has a date column. Then, create your pivot table. Once the pivot table is created, locate the date field in the pivot table fields pane. Drag it to the rows area. You'll now see your dates listed individually. To group them, click on any date in the pivot table. Right-click and select Group. A dialog box will appear. Choose Months and click OK. Your pivot table will instantly regroup the dates, displaying summarized data for each month. You can change the grouping if needed, selecting quarters, years, or even custom date ranges from the same grouping menu. This way, you can very easily visualize and analyze your monthly data trends. 2. Using helper columns for more control. Sometimes you need more control over your date grouping or your data might not be perfectly formatted. A helper column can provide that control. Create a new column next to your date column. This new helper column uses a formula to extract the month from your date. For example, if your date is in cell A2, you might use the formula text A2 in the helper column, let's say B2. This formula extracts the month name. Now drag this formula down for all your rows. In your pivot table, use this helper column instead of the original date column. Now you can group your pivot table by months effectively. For example, you can easily find the total sales of each month or any other aggregation you desire. You can also adapt this method to group by year or quarter. Instead of use ye for year or ye for month and year. This gives you a lot more control, especially when dealing with complex data. You can easily find the total sales for each month of each year by doing this. This method is helpful when you want extra control over the way your data is presented in the pivot table. This option is helpful when your initial data is not well formatted, providing a solid way to organize and categorize it. Remember, both methods achieve the same goal: grouping your pivot table data by month. But the helper column method gives you more flexibility if you require customized grouping or pre-processing of your raw data. By selecting the method best suited to your specific needs, you can effectively manage your data and gain insightful analysis in your pivot table.